Hey sis, good morning. I know look, I haven't been on here for a while. However, what I want to talk about this morning is just giving too much of yourself to people that don't deserve it. This can come in forms of like friends, family, even your kids. You know, Long story short, as much as you do for your kids, most of the time they're never going to just reciprocate the same energy that you give them. So you've got to know when is your cutoff point for your kids. You love them, but don't just make them like your God, and don't let them run your life. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to date who they want to date. They're going to marry who they want to marry. They're going to live their lives. Don't spend the rest of your life letting your kids run you. Some people get in their 60s and 70s and all they can show for themselves is that they've lived for their kids. Right now, I want you to start living for yourself. It's okay to help your kids out. It's okay to help some family members out. Whether they need a place to stay or whatever, help them out, but don't let it break you down trying to help other people. I know I got to a place where I was okay. I had my own things going on, dealing with the separation and all that stuff. But then my child came into my life and I started to take on her problems. And sometimes they don't appreciate that. It's like they ask you to help them and to do this and do that, but then they get mad at you when you do what they ask. So it's confusing. So what I want you to know is, don't spend the rest of your life just living for your kids. You've raised your babies already, then hey, good to you, the empty nesters. After you've raised them, save that second half for yourself. Save that second half to make a better you. Get to know Christ better. Get a stronger relationship with him. Don't continue to let people drag you down. Don't let people use you, because you're in control of that. I can say for myself, if I look back over the years, I can honestly say that I was naive and I was just to be stepped on by different people. If I've looked at my relationships, I did too much. I love too much. I love too hard. If I look with my kids, I gave too much. I wanted so much to show them that I love them and I care about them. However, it's just like in life, you get what you put out there. If you put your heart out there to be stepped on, guess what, sis? It's going to be stepped on, because nobody's going to care about your heart like you should care about your heart. And it's a bad thing to ask people to handle your heart as if you would handle theirs, because we're not promised to just have like an easy life in this walk. We're not promised that everybody's going to do right by us. And with that said, you're in control of how people treat you. So quit letting people treat you like a wet food stamp. Like quit letting them treat you in a bad way. You're in control of that. If your problem is saying no is easy to say. It's easy to say when you think about it, because it's either going to be them or it's going to be you. It's going to be you hurt in the end. And other people are always going to look out for their own interests. They're going to always make sure they're okay. It's like, as much as I love my daughter, I'm her mother. So of course I'll be there. I've been there, but I won't be there like I was. Sometimes you have to step aside and let them see what it is that this life has to present, because sometimes people will fault you for loving them. So, if you've had that problem, like if you've got a kid and, this kid is constantly giving you problems and you're constantly reaching out, you're constantly helping them. Like if they need money, you're sending money. If they need a way out, you're bailing them out. You're buying them cars and doing all that stuff. Stop it. Stop it. That's not a good thing. Don't give too much. Don't give too much. Don't give too much to anybody. Give what you have to give. And after that, let them get it for themselves. You are not sent here to save people. We were put here for a purpose, but we weren't put here to save people. Christ saves people. So all the time that you have spent, I'm not going to say wasted, because a lot of stuff is not a waste. No moment is wasted. Everything has a purpose. But for all the time that you've spent trying to build other people and help other people, who's helping you? Who can you run to when you're down? Who helps you if you're behind on a bill? Are you the one that everybody's always running to? I know I am. I'm the one that people run to, but then these same people who run to you will dog you out and talk about you behind your back and do all that stuff. But hey, trying to have a heart as Christ or that's Christ-like, that allows you sometimes to get hurt. You have to know the difference between being used and being used by God. Because some people will use you and they'll play on the fact that you're a Christian. But that's not right. Don't let them make you feel bad about anything that you don't want to do or you couldn't do. I've said that before on a video about just saying no. It's necessary to say no sometimes so you can say yes to yourself. You've got to have peace in your life. And as for a man or a friend or something that keeps coming in your life, but all they're doing is using you. If you have a friendship and you're the one always paying when you go out to eat, you're always the one paying on trips, and you see yourself, like if you're in the club, you're the one buying the drinks and all that stuff. It's just, it's not a 100% friendship. Some people just love the thought of you. They don't really like you as a person for real. They just like what you can do for them. So you need to get rid of those kind of people. And as for a man, I'll use an example of a story that I know. If a man will walk out on you and he will go be with another woman, you take him back and he do the same thing again. Why are you accepting him back? See, at some point it becomes your fault. Everything is not that man's fault. At some point, it's your fault. If he left, you should have let him stay gone. So he comes back. You all are acting like nothing happened whatsoever. My thing is, have you had that conversation? Did you have the conversation about what are we doing? When somebody wants to re-enter your life, figure out why. Don't just allow them back in. Figure out why. Why are you in my life? We're too old to be playing games, not knowing why people are in our lives and really not even knowing why we exist. You need to find your purpose in your life before you even really look into getting with somebody in a relationship, because you're always going to find the wrong person. And it's just like what I've noticed is sometimes we even settle for the wrong people because you get desperate at times or you get lonely. Know who you are before reaching out to date somebody. So, family, kids, men, women, whatever. Don't put people before yourself, because you've only got one life. You're not a cat. You've got one life to live, and you better live it to your fullest, sis.